Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips. Once again, Jeff is out today, so I'm talking some start, some sit questions that you guys have asked me on Instagram today. So I'm going to go over all of those in just a minute. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys go check us out on Twitter at the FF Prophet, or like I just mentioned on Instagram, or Instagram.com/fantasyfootballprophet. Go find us there. The website's fantasyfootballprophet.com. We'll have all of our rankings there every single week. Those are going to go live here. Well, by the time you're listening to this, they're probably just going up on the website late Tuesday night. So go check those out. As well, go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/fantasyfootballprophet. We have all our podcasts on there, and we're going to keep adding more content on YouTube as we go. And also, if you like to listen to the show, you want to support us, go check us out on Patreon. It's patreon.com/fantasyfootballprophet. You guys can help us out there as little as just $1 a month. Just want to throw some support our way. We'll appreciate anything you guys want to give to us there. So on Instagram today, I put a little start sit questions. I tried to limit this to flex questions as this is kind of actually the start of building our ranks for the week. Look at who we would pick in certain situations. Once we have our regular ranks up, you can pick, who do you want to start between two running backs? Go check out our ranks, and that's who, we would prefer. So I'll just go over a bunch of these flex questions we got. I'm going to go over, as many as I can here. We got quite a bit.
What is up, everybody? It has been a little while since I was able to sit here and talk with you. But Craigie, I've gotten a few questions since I've been out in San Diego, and I wanted to run them by you. Question number one, I have to ask, how did it feel to lose to me this weekend in week one? Rhetorical question. I feel great. I don't care about how you feel. But question number two, honestly, I would like to know, in your mind, as we've talked about, who has risen the most since week one? Someone that you thought was maybe borderline, but now is an absolute starter. And then the opposite as well. You're kind of number one guy of who was a starter and now is on the bubble of possibly not starting.
Well, I didn't expect to have Jeff on the show today, but able to send something in. So, yeah, Jeff, definitely crushed me this week in our main league. I mean, it was like 166 to 97, something like that. Just, brutal loss. But hey, that's what happens when you're in a keeper league, and Jeff has keepers of Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey, which I hope you credit me for Alvin Kamara there, Jeff, because without me, I don't feel like you know to pick Alvin Kamara 2 years or 3 years ago, whatever that was. But, all right, to answer your question, I'll start off with the player that I don't believe in at all kind of thing now, which there wasn't a lot of them yet, but so this one's maybe kind of a cheap answer, but that's going to be Kenyon Drake and just that whole Miami offense. I was kind of hoping for something with Drake, but it looked terrible in week one. So for right now, he is completely off my radar. He's a non-start. He's a end of the bench guy. Probably not a droppable guy yet, but could happen if you get another week or two of that. But just can't even consider him. On the other side of things, it's going to be Sammy Watkins. He is a top 10 guy. I believe when I finalize my ranks here, Sammy Watkins is going to end up in the top 10. It's crazy, but he finally showed his talent. I mean, really, that's what he showed, how talented of a player he was, how good he can be. And I've been waiting for that for a long time, and it was awesome to see. And now, combined now with Tyreek Hill being out, Sammy Watkins, he's going to be terrific and finally live up to that high draft pick, ceiling that he had. Everyone thought he was going to be way up there, and I think now he finally is going to do that.
And then the final question I have for you is the one that's going to be on everyone's mind, so I might as well ask it. But where do you rank Antonio Brown going into week two, finally possibly being able to play in that Patriots offense after they looked so good without him?
I was probably going to have him in, I'm thinking 15 to 20 range. He's going to fall in there. But now you got these new sexual assault claims that show up tonight, and it's like, man, what? Drama just surrounds Antonio Brown. It's crazy. But if I'm just looking at football, I'm not worrying about what's going on with that. It looks like the league is going to be investigating it. I don't know what that means. Are they going to put him on the exempt list? Who knows? With Antonio Brown, you just don't have a clue. But if I'm just thinking football right now, he plays this week. I say he's going to be 15 to 20 right in there. I don't know exactly how they plan to use him yet. If they'll ease him in, if he just goes right into it and catches a bunch of balls. So I will be kind of cautiously optimistic that it's good, but, err on the side of maybe not. So maybe closer to about 20th for me, I'm believing this week.
So anyway, I will be back soon live in studio with you, buddy. Keep sending us those questions, and good luck to everyone in week 2.
First question I got up here from Westy. You got Deshaun Jackson or Aaron Jones, and this one's an easy one for me. I'm going Aaron Jones. I know the overreaction to week 1 is going to be Deshaun Jackson caught the 2 big touchdowns. Aaron Jones didn't do anything. I still believe in Aaron Jones. It was a tough defense he went up against. I mean, anybody's going to have a tough time against Green Bay. Anyone's going to have a tough time against Chicago. It's just, best defense in the league last year. They don't look like they lost a step, really. That's a tough matchup. Now, Deshaun Jackson, one of the biggest boom-bust players we've seen in the league, over the last however many years. And he's going to have another game or two like he did in week 1. It's just going to happen. He's an extremely talented player. But you don't always know when that week is going to happen. And if they try to take that away and they don't, Deshaun doesn't have a chance, it's going to be 2 for 20, 3 for 30, that kind of day. So it's going to be Aaron Jones for me. I hate just playing Deshaun Jackson. I feel like you're just tossing, flipping a coin. Are you going to get the good week? Are you going to get the bad week? It's a tough one there. All right, Zeller asked, you got to start 2 of these 3. Another Deshaun Jackson in here. A lot of Deshaun Jackson this week. Deshaun Jackson, Tyrell Williams, Matt Breida. So I'm going to go Tyrell Williams for sure at that spot. And I'm probably going to go Matt Breida here. If, looks like Coleman's out, Breida should be. And I'm going to go Breida and Williams. I know, I just don't trust Deshaun Jackson. I just don't. I can't go with him. So I'm going to definitely pass on Deshaun Jackson this week. He's going to have a few weeks to really get me to buy in. I'm just not there. Let's see. Mike asked, Duke Johnson, Geronimo Allison, or Adrian Peterson? Here, standard scoring. It's a solid question. You know what? This is a tough one for me. Duke Johnson was involved in week 1, but Carlos Hyde is definitely there, and it looks like it's going to be, it looks like a split backfield there, but Adrian Peterson is going to be probably in a similar situation in a way with Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson's definitely not going away. Chris Thompson's going to get, most of the passing down work. Why wouldn't he? He's going to be heavily involved there. Oh, and then Geronimo Allison. I'm not picking Geronimo here. It's between Duke Johnson. It's between Adrian Peterson for me. And trying to think this one through, how my rank's going to go. It's going to be close. You know what? I think I lean Adrian Peterson. Duke's going against Jacksonville, Peterson against Dallas. Yeah, I'm going to Adrian Peterson here. That's the one I guess I feel most confident in. I don't know if confidence is the right word. It's not really confidence. It's, I'll just take the chance there, I guess, right? And go with him there. All right, another question here. We got Joe Mixon, Robert Woods, D.D. Westbrook, T.J. Hawkinson, or Terry McLaurin. So I guess, Joe Mixon, obviously, if he plays, you're playing Joe Mixon. It doesn't seem terribly likely right now. So Robert Woods, D.D. Westbrook, Hawkinson, McLaurin. I'm a big fan of Terry McLaurin right now, but it's Robert Woods. You got to play Robert Woods out of here. These guys, it's not close for me, really. I'm going Woods. McLaurin, though, I'm really interested in him for the rest of this year. He looks like the number 1 in Washington. I don't know exactly what that means necessarily, but I'm interested in him. He looked really good in his first game. All right, so we got Philip Lindsay or Alshon Jeffrey. This is standard scoring. So Philip Lindsay, Alshon Jeffrey, standard scoring. Philip Lindsay is, he looked fine, I guess, but it's a split, definitely a split with Royce Freeman for the most part. I'm going to probably go Alshon, even in a standard. I'm going to go with Alshon against the Falcons in this one. Philip Lindsay, I'm just not a fan of the situation for him. All right, Tyler Lockett, Adrian Peterson, or Duke Johnson. So another Duke Johnson, Adrian Peterson, but then with Lockett there. So Lockett's an interesting case, only getting one catch for 44 yards in the opener, but turned into a touchdown. In this situation, I'm going to go Tyler Lockett. I believe, those targets should improve. He should have a better week in week 2. He's playing at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh didn't look very good in week 1. They're going to be better in week 2. That's going to be, but I'll go Tyler Lockett here. All right, James White or Brandon Cooks. So Cooks definitely disappointed in week 1. Wasn't much going on there, but I am going to go Brandon Cooks over James White here for week 2. I have a hard time playing James White. I know it's the bias I get against the pass catching back, I guess. But me, I guess, playing more standard scoring, I have that bias. And this one doesn't say standard or PPR. I guess I'll go standard for sure. I think in both PPR and standard, I'll go Brandon Cooks. I just definitely feel more confident. All right, David Montgomery, Robbie Anderson, or McCole Hardman. So Hardman's a trendy pickup this week with Tyreek Hill out, but I'm going to go David Montgomery. I'm going to play the running back. He looked pretty good. I think the work will increase this week, and I think don't panic completely yet if you're a David Montgomery owner. Keep him there. Don't trade him away for nothing. You definitely I think he's gonna eventually take over a decent amount of that backfield. All right, Matt Breida, Emmanuel Sanders, or Will Fuller. I am going to lean running back again. I'm going to go Matt Breida. If he's getting the majority of the work, it should be Breida. He should have a good week here. I'll pick him. All right, Robbie Anderson, Cooper Kupp, Devin Singletary, or David Montgomery. All right, that's a interesting one here. So David Montgomery, Devin Singletary, Robbie Anderson, Cooper Kupp. Again, this is a standard scoring. So David Montgomery, Singletary looked pretty good in his work he had. Anderson, Kupp. You know what? I'm going David Montgomery. I think it's going to be a better week. I'm going to lean David Montgomery. He's going to probably be slightly ahead of Devin Singletary in my ranks for week 2. And again, I usually lean with the running back, especially when it's Robbie Anderson. No confidence there. Cooper Kupp, yes, some, but yeah, I will go David Montgomery. So here we go, Tyler Lockett again. So we got another Tyler Lockett, Adrian Peterson here. So Tyler Lockett, Adrian Peterson, or John Ross. And yeah, this is where I go Tyler Lockett. He's still going to be the pick for me over Peterson, and John Ross needs to do something more. He's definitely needs to put a few weeks together before it's a believable story here. I want it to be, but you need more from him. All right, Devin Singletary, Miles Sanders, or John Brown here. So Miles Sanders, I'm going to go Miles Sanders. He's playing against Atlanta. Atlanta did not look good against the run. I played Minnesota last week, and Miles Sanders is slightly ahead of Devin Singletary for me, and John Brown's another one like John Ross. We've seen these flashes from him before. We need to see it in consecutive weeks to really, believe in that. All right, start one of 3. Ooh, this one's a little bit more. I don't know how I feel about these picks. It's a PPR league. It's McCole Hardman, Dede Westbrook, Kenyon Drake. Drake, I just cannot start Drake. And the way that game went for Miami, it's just how do you start a Miami player right now? It's extremely difficult. But then you got D.D. Westbrook, who now doesn't have Nick Foles at quarterback, and he didn't look like the preferred target anyway. Or McCole Hardman, who can, I'm going to go Hardman. I'm going to go Hardman here. I don't like any of these options, so I'm going to take the one where I think there's the most upside, and I'll go him. All right, we've got to start 2 of these 4 players here in the PPR league. Aaron Jones, Kenny Galladay, Allen Robinson, Jamison Crowder. Wow, this one is this is tougher. Jamison Crowder makes it interesting with his 14 catches last week. He really, piled up those targets, piled up those receptions. And so he becomes an interesting play here. And then, I'm a big Aaron Jones guy. I'm going to go Aaron Jones as one of them. And then I got to figure out here, is it Galladay? Is it Allen Robinson? It's still not going to be Crowder. I need more from Crowder. So how am I leaning here? Am I leaning Kenny Galladay in my ranks? Am I leaning Allen Robinson in my ranks? This is tough. This is a toss-up for me. Aaron Jones, Kenny Galladay. I'm going to go with it. Yeah, it's a tough one. So here we go. Matt Breida, Allen Robinson, who we just didn't pick in that one, but I will go Allen Robinson over Matt Breida. I'm a bigger fan there of Robinson. I'm a big Robinson fan. I also like Kenny Galladay. As people who have listened to the podcast for a while, will know already that I'm definitely a Kenny Galladay fan, and I guess a Lions fan as well. So some of my Lions, I don't really have Lions bias anymore. I kind of, the Lions fandom has been rough over my years, and I don't necessarily think their players are going to do that well. But hey, I like the talent in Kenny Galladay there. All right, let's see if we got any more flex questions. A lot of people are just doing running back, wide receiver questions, which, just check out the ranks is, when they're up here very soon. All right, here we go. Duke Johnson, Aaron Jones, Chris Godwin. So a lot of players we've talked about. We haven't talked about Chris Godwin, but Aaron Jones is going to be my pick. I'm still believing in it. This is a couple players again we've talked about, but it one more thrown in there. Mark Ingram, Devin Singletary, Kenny Galladay. This will be Mark Ingram for me. He played well in week 1. I mean, it was pretty easy to play well in week 1 as you're going against Miami. So Ingram, though, I was impressed. Going against Arizona, not that difficult. This is a good early season schedule for Baltimore. We should see a lot more from their offense again. I'm sure it'll be another good game here. Duke Johnson, Deshaun Jackson. Duke Johnson's my pick there. Can't go wrong, I don't think, with I guess you can go wrong, but I don't want to pick Deshaun Jackson. It's just not the guy I want to go with and trust in fantasy at all. I can't do it. Now, before we wrap up the show today, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to some of the people in the relegation league. If you guys have been listening in the off season, we have started up a relegation league tiered system with 5 different tiers, 25 leagues, just crazy setup we got going here. And so I wanted to give some shout outs here to the top score from the week out of all 25 leagues. It's in relegation. It's a relegation minor 7 league. So minor 7 is what the fourth will go. It's champions, challengers, contenders, minors, beginners. So this is the second tier up from the bottom. UK Philly Specials, run by Ben, scored 189.6 points. And this is just half point PPR. Just if you haven't know about the league, it's 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, tight end, flex, defense, kicker. Nothing special, nothing crazy, no bonuses, just straight up scoring here. And 189.6, best in the entire 25 leagues. Dak Prescott, Christian McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette, Keenan Allen, T.Y. Hilton, Vance McDonald, Derrick Henry, Cowboys D, Daniel Carlson. It was a big time performance there for UK Philly Specials in week 1. They won by 102 points there. This is a definite blowout. They want to move their way up in the in the levels next week or the next year. And then also I'll just go over quick. We got the Champions League, which is what everyone is trying to go for here. So in the Champions League, Fantasy Follow beat the FF Profit team there, 128.3 to 110.4. We had Team Shaw beating Big Ben's Bathroom Stall. Team Duke got a 4-point win, 137-133 over Michael Vick's Dog Pound. Los Ballers, always a tough team to beat up on FF Cowboy. Team Levine beat Johnny No Good, the bad guy, and then Team DC beat Saints for Super Bowl. So that's what everyone's trying to get to the top Champions League. Looks like we got some tough teams there this year. But that will do it for some of your start sit flex questions this week. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll have some mailbag questions. I'll go over the ranks that we did finalize and just kind of see, where we're leaning as we head into week 2. Maybe see if there's any surprises. I'm going to be posting up the ranks on Instagram tomorrow as well, so you guys can check them out there. And definitely bring us your comments. I'll talk about them tomorrow night as I record, the next episode of the podcast. Talk to you guys then.